a news broke the net. Generally, you will not find the issues of health actually trending on the net. But a young model, 32-year-old actor Poonam Pandey, lost her life due to cervical cancer. The news was communicated on Instagram by her own team. But then, since she was a high-profile figure, it led to a lot of chatter on the net on the issue of cervical cancer, on which Nirmala Sitharaman, India's finance minister, spoke on the budget. I have decided to take up this conversation not because, as reported, a famous actor Poonam Pandey has died, but the issue she actually picked up. Her team, in informing that she lost her life because of this disease. It not only highlights the menace of this cancer, where 1/3 of all global cervical deaths happen in this country, but it also tells us there is lack of awareness, and the government of India has now made the vaccine free, which at any center would cost you 4,000, but there is no awareness. No awareness. It is detected, and if it is detected and screened early, it can be cured, but the screening and the right treatments aren't accessible to most women. Many women don't talk about it, many men don't talk about it because it's a women's problem. What is cervical cancer? How does it happen? What are the symptoms? Why has government of India made it a mission? It has to be a reason why Nirmala Sitharaman has taken up this issue. So, well, this story may have started from Poonam Pandey, and there's a controversy also about it, that the family cannot be located, the house is closed. Some people have said, it's a publicity stunt, but I will not go into it. But what the news of a death has done, the news of a death which is being reported through our own Instagram account, is that people are talking about it. So I have decided to just talk about the issue and not the actor, with due respect. So, what is cervical cancer? How does it happen? On this, I am joined by Dr. Manoj Sharma, former in charge of Department of Oncology, Delhi State Cancer, and Dr. Bindya Gupta, Professor, Department of Gynecology, Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital. Let me straight away go to Dr. Bindya Gupta, and then I'll come to Dr. Sharma. What are the symptoms of this cancer, and how come India's finance minister had to actually speak about it, to push for it? And can I say that it has become a national problem that has to be addressed like from a top-down approach?
Yes, a very good evening. You are absolutely right. Today we have heard a very, very sad news that a young model, 32 years old, a girl has died of cervical cancer. It is a very, very sad thing which has happened today. And answering to your question, so as we know, cervical cancer is the cancer of the uterine mouth, or we call it the cervix. So it is a big public health problem in our country. It is the second most common cancer after breast cancer, which is affecting India. And the most important part is that it is a preventable cancer. Why am I saying preventable? Because we know the cause of the cancer, that it is caused by a human papilloma virus. And we have a vaccine to fight against that virus, which is causing the cancer. And also, we have, we also have the the tests to screen the disease, to pick it up early, and to fight against it and treat it early in the precancerous stage. So that is why it is a very preventable cancer. And let me tell you, in 2020, WHO had given a call for action for elimination of cervical cancer by 2030 by its 90-70-90 initiative, in which they said that 90% of the girls should be vaccinated between the 9 to 14 years of age group. 70% should be treated with the precancerous lesions. They should be diagnosed, they should be screened, and then 90% should undergo treatment for these precancerous and the early and the cervical cancer.
Okay. Now
So
I'll come to you, and then I'll come to you, madam, again. But before that, let me play out the bite of Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, when she made that statement on the floor of the House, when she said that it's going to be the mission of the government.
cervical cancer vaccination. Our government will encourage vaccination for girls in the age group of 9 to 14 years for prevention of cervical cancer.
And before I go to Dr. Sharma, let me again clarify to our viewers that the death of the actor Poonam Pandey, as informed through her own Instagram account by her own publicist, made it into a national issue. People have contested that, the families cannot be contacted. That's a different story. I am not going to get into that story. That's not important. I intend to go to the story, an issue which has taken precedence over the actor's early demise, as stated through her Instagram, and something which Finance Minister spoke about. So, Dr. Sharma, a lot of people even don't know the symptoms of the disease. Can you take us through the symptoms of the disease? And a lot of people even confuse it with the cervical. And I'm not kidding that there are people who thought earlier that this has to do with the cervical and not what the disease is all about.
Kartikeya, let me first clear that Mrs. Sitharaman actually doesn't know that who is the real culprit. The victim is a female and the culprit is a male. So in Australia, they have recommended vaccination for male and female both. So let us make it very clear that don't focus at the vaccination of females only. The same age group boys should also be vaccinated, because the lifestyles at the present in India, if you see the school statistics, is very, very devastating and it's very worrisome. So number one. Number two, the second thing is the symptomatology. Once I was, I have been writing books of preventive cancer awareness. So once I was writing, my mother, your grandmother, said that beta vaginal discharge to har female mein hota hai. That means there is a natural discharge also. So the first symptom is the vaginal discharge, which most of the women ignore, number one. Second symptom which may happen, and I would say the disease has gone little too far, but it's still curable, is the postcoital bleeding, that the bleeding which happens during and after intercourse. And here I will insist that there is a role of awareness of the female as well as the male partner, because it is then, if it is concealed at that point of time, and if it is considered that, oh, it was a coital trauma because of it has bled, then again there is a delay. Number three, the problem is, I'm not going to the late stage symptoms, which are horrifying, and if those symptoms have happened, then disease is already too late, and sometimes it becomes incurable, like difficulty in passing stools, like burning micturition, and difficulty in passing urine. Intermenstrual bleeding, we call, that means when the bleed happens in between the menstrual cycles also, anemia and things like that, backache and all. So the awareness part is very important.